Greetings and welcome back to the Casual Wargamer. A quick little vid tonight to generate a little bit of discussion. And it's something that's come up in a couple of conversations I've had recently, and it's been on my mind pretty much since 10th edition actually dropped onto the shelves. Or your grubby Tyrannid claws, whatever you are. And that is the following. Is Battleline worth it? Previous editions, if you played them, you'll know that depending on your detachment, you had a bit of a tax. If you played the basic sort of patrol, you had to have a HQ and at least a troop choice. If you played the next one up, it was 2 HQ and 3 troop choices. And if you played the next one up, it was 3 HQ and 6 troop choices. And then it varied if you took one of the weird ones. And when I say it's a tax, it's a tax. If you wanted to play the things you really wanted to play, you had to take these options. If you're anything like me, I always preferred to have one character, one HQ. And troops were fine. Didn't mind that because troops are what your armies are supposed to be based around, in my mind. You're supposed to be playing your Guardians or your Tactical Squads or your Gaunts or whatever it is. Now, 10th comes along and goes out the window with that. We put it in a box and we throw the box in the sea and you play whatever you want other than the fact you've got to have a character. And as I sort of said in my previous video, I think it makes list building quite difficult, especially at lower point games. And one of the reasons I think I've not done so great in 10th edition games so far, I've had my wins and my draws and what have you, but I've lost more games than I've won. And I think that's down to the fact that I'm still trying to play 10th as though it was 9th, which is something I always say to people, don't do. 10th is a completely different animal. It's a completely different game. Don't compare it to 9th or previous. And I've been taking intercessors and then ditching them for heavy intercessors for a bit more survivability. But I'm finding that I'm missing the things that I actually need to play to win by taking such battle line troop choices. And I've played a couple of 2K games over the last week where I tested out not having any battle line whatsoever. I've taken all the things I actually want to field. And in those 2 games, I did a heck of a lot better. The first was a 2K game against Drukhari, and it was very close. It got to the end of the game was a 58-point draw until the very last dice roll or potentially of the game where I failed a 4-up 50-50 armor save and my opponent managed to then score 6 points and won the game. But it was neck and neck all the way through to that point. The second one was against my friend Landon. I'm going to give him a bit of a shout out to with his Astra Militarum. And although we both made mistakes, I think, in the game, I managed to secure a victory with exactly the same list. He was playing quite a indirect fire artillery heavy list with a few blobs of guards. The guardsmen didn't survive, and basically the indirect fire didn't do an awful lot like it was supposed to. My dreadnoughts and so forth kept making their saves, and where I did use models, it was like a 3-wound model, leaving the rest of the squad able to still hold objectives and so on. Had I played Battle Line, I don't think I would have done anywhere near as well in both games. And so, after 4.5 minutes now, I am coming to the point where I'm querying, are Battle Line units worth it? Do we need to take them? Not every army has a battle line option that has sticky objectives. I mean, I did have a quick skim through the various indices, and it was things like intercessors and Eldari Guardians, and well, I can't remember now. But basically, not every army has a battle line option that has sticky objectives. And so it makes me wonder what's the point? Because even the abilities, when you look at them, don't seem like they are all that compared to the better options you have in your potential list. And yet, the idea is that your troop choices, as I mentioned earlier, are your default. Every army should be based around its battle line units. But if your other options are better, why take battle line? I am coming back to the idea that lists should include a minimum battle line option. Because right now, while we've got the freedom to take what we want and play what we want, I think it is severely overbalancing, not overpowering, but certainly overbalancing the lists that I'm seeing played. Some people take them, certain armies have good battle lines, others it's like, I'm better off taking other options. So should GW bring back the tax on troop choices, battle line? I say yes. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. I know I've waffled. Have a good evening wherever you are. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and throw your comments down below and we'll start a dialogue. Until then, take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Good gaming.